Two questions. A, why the hell did Lil Yachty make a Steve Miller Band record? And B, why the hell did he do such a good job? Heyo people, Crash Thompson here, and welcome to this review of the latest from Lil Yachty. Let's start here. I'm surprised I'm covering this too, but y'all stay with me. Lil Yachty is a rapper that's been at it since about 2016. He found big initial success off the back of songs like Broccoli featuring Dram and Yacht Club featuring Juice WRLD. He saw success last year actually after one of his more recent singles, Poland, blew up on TikTok and had some chart presence for a while, so can't say I ever really cared for his hip-hop stuff though. Like, I never outright despise Lil Yachty or anything, but I can't say I was ever a fan. His lyrics could be really derpy, and I always hated his stuffy nose style delivery. He kind of sounds like Kermit the Frog messed up on E. I took the walk to Poland. Please help me, I'm so fucked up. Again, never really despised the guy, but I just could never really get into him. I was going through new releases today, and someone on Twitter just randomly recommended, hey, you should check out that Lil Yachty. I think, actually, let me look it up. Listen to the new Lil Yachty album, you won't regret it. Really? I almost took that up as a challenge. I booted it up, I cringed at the awful AI artwork. Oh god, I hope this is a trend that doesn't catch on. Please let this die quickly. I put it on and y'all, this is not what I was expecting out of Lil Yachty. But Yachty had been teasing a big genre shift album for the past few months here. Apparently, this entire record leaked last month as Sonic Ranch. So if you were in the know with Lil Yachty, you probably knew this was coming up. But outside of that, this was almost a surprise release. And man, oh man, I will say it is absolutely a surprise. I booted it up and the first track, Black Seminole, it's like a Pink Floyd track. Super haunting, ethereal guitar work, some really thick bass and drum presence. Like, most of the instrumentation on this is organic instrumentation, you know, guitars, drums, piano work, even some cool like 70s feeling synth here. This album, it has the weirdest vibe. It's this sort of light 70s rock thing. It feels sonically like it's drawing from a lot of like Floyd, Steve Miller Band, Eagles, stuff like yacht rock and 70s soul. And the instrumentation is all really great. The guitar is smooth and silky, and the rhythm section is really groovy and hypnotic on most of these tracks. There's a lot of light and pleasant piano and synth arrangements here, and lots of vocal oohs and ahs all throughout to help create this very pleasant, relaxing, again, chill 70s rock kind of vibe. It's almost like a Christopher Cross album that doesn't bore you to tears. It's a dreamy, carefree, very relaxed time, and again, was anyone expecting this out of Little Friggin' Yachty? Apparently a lot of the instrumentation on this record was arranged by Patrick Wimberly of Chairlift, Carolyn Polachek's old band, and apparently a lot of the production work was done by the folks behind a lot of Yves Tumor's stuff. Man, they did a fantastic job with the instrumentation and arrangements on this thing. Sonically, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. The production, we'll get into it, but the production helps this album a lot. Again, the album opens super strong with the Black Seminole, The Ride, and Running Out of Time. Again, lots of Pink Floyd kind of vibes, lots of classic rock sort of influences. We Saw the Sun is another mellow and pleasant jam, and Drive Me Crazy has a great feature from Diana Gordon, and it closes really strongly too on The Alchemist and Reach the Sunshine. Reach the Sunshine, with its piano work and its super light and airy synths, like it almost, dare I say it, it has this weird sort of amnesiac feeling Radiohead to them. Again, the production and instrumentation are easily this album's biggest strengths. Its biggest weaknesses, though, I hate to say it, but a lot of the biggest weaknesses do still trace back to Lil Yachty. That's the thing. A lot of the stuff I don't necessarily like about Lil Yachty It is still here. His vocal delivery is still like really
Nasal, like, man, the dude just sounds like he's got a stuffy nose.
I mean, they do a lot to work around it. He relies a lot on his falsetto. His falsetto's not quite so bad because it kind of masks a lot of his kind of vocal drawbacks with the nasalness. You know, he'll go up to that high. He'll kind of stick to the higher part of his register to kind of help with that. It is still pretty nasally, though. Even though the production does a lot to help with that, they're still not fantastic. And man, again, Yachty's lyrics, you know, most of the time, they're not that bad. When he's just talking matter-of-factly about his feelings, or when he's musing, or particularly when he's in happier moments or describing happier situations, when he's working the more pleasant angle, honestly, his lyrics are really good. That's one thing I do honestly like about Lil Yachty, even with some of his hip-hop work. He can be a bit more optimistic and a bit more sunny than some other rappers of his genre, especially back in the day when he broke big. That was something that kind of stuck out about him, and that is still on here too. And again, when it's like that, it works. It's more the moments when he isn't like that. Like on the song Pretty, for example. This is meant to be kind of a big ol' sexy jam, like it's supposed to be smooth and sultry. The opening line,
"Come bust this pussy open."
I don't care who the IRS sends, I am not paying taxes.
But man, Lil Yachty, when Lil Yachty tries to be sexy, let's go to Sunset City, go to Sun City, walk up on the right side, I feel so pretty, kiss my girl on her thighs, grab her titties, she's a keeper so I throw out the receipt, jeepers creepers, swear these, so spooky, swear I'd die for this pussy, R.I.P., scared so smooth, moisturized, that's cocoa cream, fuck, want your picture in mine. I'm just saying, somebody like Marvin Gaye would leave those details to your imagination. Marvin Gaye would grab the titties of the mind. And even on some of the good tracks, there are moments or little things that can kind of throw me off. The Bob Ross sample at the end of We Saw the Sun. Okay, again, I see what you're going for, but that is... come on. Invoking Bob Ross to put on a good mood, that's just a cheat code, man. And God, drive me crazy. That song just tears me in two. Because again, it's another wonderful feature from Diana Gordon, and like the first half of that song is very, very good. It's very soulful and stirring and very warm and pleasant. But then Yachty switches it up and just starts rhyming about how much of a pimp he is. Rarely ever missin', talk is cheap and time is tickin'. Rarely ever trickin', catch me slippin', that pussy was leakin'. A, not a great rhyme. B, ew. Big 4-5 on my hip like I'm limpin', never simpin', all my cousins crippin', always grippin', shit get dangerous. Again, with the 70s rock instrumentation going on in the background, this just does not matter. I couldn't imagine Steve Miller singing about this, is all I'm saying. I got a big dick and I make the bitch's pussy go squip squip with my big old gun. And it's moments like that that really make me kind of wonder if this album is good in spite of Lil Yachty and not because of Lil Yachty. But that's the thing, those moments are also surprisingly few and far between, and this record does show a lot of sonic growth. I talk a lot about the production saving it, but at the same time, I mean, look at a record like Maneskin. That album also had surprisingly good production, but man, there wasn't enough material there to save that record. Production can't save everything, and there are a lot of moments on this record where Lil Yachty, again, when his lyrics aren't bad and when he's playing to his strengths, like, he is honestly genuinely pretty decent. I feel like I can't just say, oh, the production's really good, because that wouldn't be enough to save this record if it weren't. And you know what? This is genuinely a pretty decent record. Like, I would recommend checking this out, if just for morbid curiosity's sake. But you know, for what it is, and especially for what it's trying to be, y'all, I've heard people do way, way worse than this. I can't say he's fantastic by any means. I would still say artists like Thundercat or Steve Lacy are doing what he's trying to do on this record better. But especially for a first crack, and especially from an artist who we don't recognize for this kind of sound, he did a pretty decent job at it. And you know, if he wants to focus on this, and if he wants to genuinely kind of move in this direction, I could see him doing better at it. I'm honestly impressed enough to give this a very, very strong 7 to a light 8. Like, again, I gotta give credit where it's due, and this was very enjoyable. I'm shocked at how good Yachty is at this. Credit to the man, you know? Credit where it's due. Good job. And that's all for this review of Lil Yachty's latest record. Have you heard this one yet? What did you think about it? Did you like this new direction, or were you just kind of baffled and weirded out by it? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to hop over to Rock's channel next week on Wednesday, 8 p.m. for the next Rock Coliseum. That's always a fun time, and that's to say, I'm sure we may, who knows, this album may even come up. This is a rock record, so thanks again for watching, y'all. I'm Crash Thompson, and I'll see ya when I see ya.